Hello and welcome to the Crypto Mining Show with your host Blind Run. The channel is Son of a Tech, and this is your one-stop shop for everything crypto from the perspective of a cryptocurrency miner. Today, we are going to be covering all the good stuff. We have a new miner launch from T-Rex Miner. We have some Helium improvement proposals to cover as well. There's actually two of them that we're going to be discussing. Intel confirms ARC for Q2 of 2022, so we should be seeing new GPUs and a whole new GPU manufacturer on the market. And Vitalik Buterin on the 17th, which was yesterday, was clipped and uploaded to YouTube in an interview about the merge. So we'll be watching that together. And of course, it was probably just Vitalik's interview that has led to the crash of the Bitcoin crypto markets. We'll be talking about the coverage from that of CoinDesk. But before we get into it today, as always, we have the ad. PrimeXBT is an established trading platform that was founded in 2018. Through February 8th, there are no fees for buying crypto with a card. PrimeXBT offers a unique trading experience with their co-vesting module that allows you to follow successful traders. Their latest feature is co-vesting yield accounts that offers up to 14% APY using DeFi and CeFi integration. PrimeXBT is available on desktop as well as their new iOS app. Remember, any form of investing comes with significant risks, so do your own research. A quick disclaimer, when using leverage trading, it comes with extremely high risks, including loss of all funds. Use promo code SONOFATECH at sign-up for up to $7,000 in bonuses. All right, welcome back. So I can't stay with you all as long as normal today. The usual hour will not be available because I do have to go to an orthodontist appointment for my daughter that is quite far away. But let's go ahead and get through all the topics that we can. And we'll start things off with T-Rex Miner. And this is version 0.25.8 released 4 hours ago on February 18th, 2022. They have improved the ETH and ALF dual mining performance for the light hash rate GPUs. High power limit and core clock is important to get high ALF hash rate. Oh man, see, a lot of people kept telling me ALF needed to essentially or use less power than TON. I was thinking that sounded weird because I figured that the core clock would essentially compensate just like it does on TON. I think we need to do a power consumption comparison between dual mining ETH and ALF and ETH and TON. That's going to go onto my list. Of course, we have a ton of stuff on the lists right now, so bear with me as we get through them. But let's look some more. In order for the miner to retune your cards, remove light hash rate tune values from your config if you previously set them. Light hash rate algo parameter is deprecated and is now an alias for dual algo. Here are the bug fixes. Miner uses incorrect worker name for the secondary algorithm if the worker parameter is set. And web UI, various fixes around dual mining configuration setup. There you go. That's T-Rex version 0.25.8. Check it out in the description below. Now, I'm just barely getting into helium mining. I'm making a whopping 7 cents a day on my miner, and we have upgraded the antenna, but as you guys may know, I have it just mounted in the attic. I don't think it's going to help much. I got to get it mounted outside. It's been extremely windy, stormy, all that sort of stuff, and the cable's not just a little too short to get all the way to the roof. We're going to get there, and then we should hopefully get better mining profitability. The other option that I'm looking at is moving it into a city. Where I'm at right now, essentially, there's no other hotspots around me for like a couple miles. And then what's interesting is because I'm in a neighborhood, I do know now that there's a couple more helium miners in my neighborhood, but it's one square in the middle of basically nowhere with 3 Helium miners all just witnessing each other. So it's kind of hilarious, but what I need to do is essentially get out of this square and into the squares, you know, or they're not even squares, are they? Sorry. Are they octagons? I forgot. You know what I'm talking about though. The little geographical mark. But I am keeping track of Helium now a little bit more, so we'll be reporting on it. And what we have is 2 EIPs coming. We have Helium Improvement Proposal 54 and 55. We're going to go over them real quick. You can vote on them. The easiest way to vote on them is just to open your Helium app. It's going to prompt you to go ahead and vote for them. And then, of course, it will be based on what it looks like to me, the amount of miners you have, and the amount that those miners are earning in some form or fashion. So luckily, proposals and all that, the consensus or the governance, excuse me, for Helium does go through the miners, which is great. So let's get a summary of Helium Improvement Proposal 54. This Helium Improvement Proposal serves as both an explanation of the current proof of coverage targeting behavior, as well as a proposal for a more scalable replacement using an H3 based index. We are proposing it as a HIP to communicate and acknowledge that this is a change to the current implementation, but we believe it still falls within the original intent of proof of coverage. Motivation: the current targeting mechanism relies on a global list of asserted hotspots. This list, as the network grows, is increasingly expensive to maintain and examine. Additionally, this list does not support garbage collection, so inactive hotspots are counted towards targeting, probably leading to a targeting skew in hexes, and it's hexes. That makes more sense. 1, 2, 3, 4. What is that? 1, it's 6. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. So they're hexes. Anyways, I have like, this is what my hex looks like. Except imagine this hex like all the way over here. Like all over here. But that's what my hex looks like, I feel like. An example of, so it leads to targeting skew in hexes. An example as such mistargeting is here. The goal of this proposal is to, the goal of this proposed work is to maintain the existing targeting semantics as closely as possible, but rework them to operate on a more scalable data structure. A secondary goal is to reduce the active use of this edge case in order to enable more frequent proof of coverage activity in an area. We don't believe this particular edge case is being exploited in a widespread manner, although we do see a few instances of it. With the publishing of this HIP, however, we believe it may become more interesting to arbitrageurs. That's interesting. Stakeholders. All hotspot owners are directly affected by this HIP. It should improve fairness and targeting for proof of coverage, but may affect those hotspot deployers who are taking advantage of the current mistargeting behavior. There is a detailed, basically a detailed explanation here. Please go check it out for the details later. We don't have a ton of time today. I just wanted to get the overview here out for you guys. We have a second one as well, and this is being voted on too. And this is HIP 55 Validator Challenges. And so let's get into it. The summary: this Helium improvement proposal proposes a a change to how proof of coverage challenges are generated and submitted to the Helium blockchain to allow for further network scalability and to lower the hardware complexity and costs of hotspots. Specifically, it moves the responsibility of proof of coverage challenge creation to validators and consequently proposes moving economic rewards for creating challenges to this group as well. Originally, hotspots were the only kind of entity on the network. They were responsible for blockchain production, challenges, witnesses, etc. With the switch to validators, we moved beyond that model for block production, but we still have significant computational overhead and complexity on hotspots as a result of the old design and constraints of proof of coverage. This complexity has become a significant pain point. Hotspots must now keep up with the blockchain that is produced on significantly more powerful hardware, and they must contend with the enormous peer-to-peer network to route challenges and witness reports. The global chip shortage have also made it harder to source capable hardware for building hotspots that can meet those requirements. To address these issues, the core developers have been working on design and implementation of an alternative proof of coverage challenge mechanism we call Validator Challenges. In brief, Validator Challenges move the role of generating challenges to the consensus group. This not only allows us to free hotspots from the burden of following the blockchain, but it also moves the entities initiating challenges to machines with much more stable and predictable networking, which reduces the likelihood of connectivity failures. Hotspots can become clients of validators to learn about blockchain updates in general, whether or not they are currently being challenged, and where to deliver witness receipts. Stakeholders, hotspot, and validator owner operators. There's a detailed explanation there too. Both of these, when I saw the votes yesterday, were pretty much all in favor. Now, I do want to get more explanation on that second one, especially because obviously validators, as well as like the hotspot owners, right? They're able to essentially vote on this. By nature, to me, it seems like this voting process swings in favor of the validators, and I'm not sure that's okay. I'd like to hear your thoughts and opinions down below. I'm very new to Helium, so I'm still kind of learning and feeling out like what should be acceptable and what shouldn't be acceptable, especially from a governance and, of course, consensus mechanism platform. I'm doing more research. I'd like to hear your thoughts, especially on this last one, the Helium Improvement Proposal 55. I'm not sure I'm okay with it, but like I said, it looks like everybody else on the network is. So there you go. Let's talk about the Intel Arc Alchemist desktop graphics cards. They are confirmed. This is coming from WCCF Tech. Intel confirms Arc Alchemist desktop graphics cards in Q2 of 2022. Workstation graphics cards, which is what we'll be interested in as miners, by Q3 of 2022. Celestial architecture for ultra enthusiast segment in the works. This one's going to be fun. This is the fun one. We want that celestial architecture, baby. Ultra enthusiast segment. Ultra mining enthusiast segment. As I stare down the gamers. All right, let's get into it. During its 2022 investor meeting, Intel confirmed that it will be shipping its first Arc Alchemist desktop discrete graphics card in Q2 of 2022. It looks like Intel themselves have confirmed that while Arc Alchemist GPUs will be coming to the notebook segment in the first quarter of 2022, desktops will get the discrete graphics card update by the second quarter of 2022, while Workstation will get the first Arc Alchemist powered products by the third quarter of 2022. They got some really bad picture here, but apparently this is the mascot for the third gen Arc graphics lineup. In addition to Arc Alchemist, it looks like Intel is also well underway on the development of its next generation Arc graphics architecture. The company aims to offer enthusiast grade products with its Battle Mage architecture next year, but the design work is already underway on its Celestial graphics architecture, which comes after Battle Mage and will be addressing the ultra enthusiast segment. It is expected to be launched beyond 2024. You gotta appreciate their their in-house naming scheme, Battle Mage, Celestial. It's much better than Ampere. You know what I mean? It is also interesting to see Intel use the ultra enthusiast wording for the Celestial lineup. This could mean that while Battle Mage is aiming for the enthusiast segment, it still won't have the GPU options to compete against NVIDIA and AMD's highest end offerings. So those who want to see those insane discrete graphics cards that sit at the top of the hill should wait for 2024 for the next generation Celestial products. Intel Arc graphics timing and roadmap update. So here we go. AXG expects to ship more than 4 million discrete GPUs in 2022. OEMs are introducing notebooks with Intel Arc graphics, codenamed Alchemist, for sale in the first quarter of 2022. Intel will ship add-in cards for desktops in the second quarter and workstation by the third quarter. Architecture work has begun on Celestial, a product that will address the ultra enthusiast segment. Project Endgame will enable users to access Intel Arc GPUs through a service for an always accessible low latency computing experience. Project Endgame will be available later this year. Not interested. Intel also announced that it plans to offer a new ecosystem known as Project Endgame, which will allow customers to access Intel Arc GPUs through a service. It's a cloud service. No, I'm good, bro. I'm good. Let's see. As for adoption, Intel plans to ship more than 4 million discrete GPUs in 2022 and aims to deliver $1 billion in revenue in 2022, but AXG plans to scale that revenue up to $10 billion by 2026. That's a big scale up in like 4 years. So supercompute roadmap strategy, more than 85% of the world's supercomputers run on Intel Xeon processors. Building on this foundation, AXG is extending to higher compute and memory bandwidth and will deliver a leadership CPU and GPU roadmap to power high-performance computing and AI workloads. To date, Intel expects more than 35 HPC AI design wins from top OEMs and CSPs. Additionally, AXG has set a course that paves the way to Zetascale by 2027. I used to work in I suppose cloud infrastructure, but before that, I did do, of course, on-prem stuff. And one of the interesting things always was that compatibility and basically first mover advantage within enterprise that Intel has. It was pretty much frowned upon to even suggest an AMD run server for even small clients, much less large clients. And most of that had to do with compatibility. So when we're talking about can they roll out and will this be used, from that perspective, I think the answer is yes. What will be interesting is kind of on the flip side for the GPU processing, the AI stuff, it's been a majority of NVIDIA, unless we're talking about specifically, let's see, so architecture, engineering, architecture, trying to think of a couple others. There's a couple others that use a lot of the AMD stuff, graphics cards. But let's continue here. They got Ponte Vecchio. They got to go hard on me here. AXG is on track to deliver these GPUs for the Aura supercomputer program later this year. It achieved leadership performance results with up to 2.6 times more performance compared to the leading market solutions on a complex financial services workload. Interesting. Arctic Sound M brings the industry's first hardware-based AV1 encoder into a GPU to provide 30% bandwidth improvement. Includes the industry's only open source media solution. The media and analytics supercomputer enables leadership to transcode quality streaming density in cloud gaming. Arctic Sound M is sampling to customers and will ship by mid-2022. Falcon Shores is a new architecture that will bring x86 and Xe GPU together into a single socket. This architecture is targeted for 2024 and is projected to deliver benefits of more than 5 times the performance per watt, 5 times compute density, 5 times memory capacity, and bandwidth improvements. Custom Compute Group. AXG's Custom Compute Group will build tailored products for emerging workloads such as blockchain, supercomputing at the edge, premium infotainment for cars, and immersive displays. Scroll down here, we get some information. I think that's it. There's the lineup. The only thing we really know about right now is that Alchemist GPU. And that's it. So I'm excited for another competitor within the GPU space, especially a competitor with access to so much manufacturing. Hopefully it alleviates some of the supply chain issues. We'll have to see. Let's get into Vitalik Buterin talking yesterday in an interview about the merge. I got to put my headphones on here. We got headphones in the house. And now we listen to Mr. Vita. Let me see what the audio is like. Let's make sure it all sounds good. Let's get into it right here. Boom. Vitalik Buterin on Ethereum switched to proof of stake. Oh, I messed it up already. I have to unmute it up here too. Is it no audio is working there? Let me check. Sorry about that, guys. We'll restart it. We got this. We got this. I see what it was. All right, let's get into it.
I mean, I think at this point it basically is testing, right? Like at this point, you know, there are already some like basic test nets and like full implementations of like everything that needs to happen for the merge. Like there's implementations of the consensus clients. There was implementations of the like what we call execution clients now. So like Geth and Nethermind are the bigger ones. And Peter Salagi, the lead dev of Geth, just like tweeted out a few days ago that like Geth is basically one PR away from being ready for the merge, right? So like PR means pull request. It's just basically a big piece of code that gets kind of suggested to be added to the Geth project, and then it'll actually be added and included at some point fairly soon. But obviously, like there's still quite a bit of testing left to go. The piece that has seen like the least testing and where there's still some finishing touches being done on right now is the like in what we call the initial sync process. So this is like when a node joins the network for the first time, then like how do they basically download the kind of what the existing state, so like what the existing like account balances, contract code, and all of those things are. So that they can then kind of be part of the network and go from there. And there's just like some subtleties and kind of the interaction between, you know, how the formerly proof of work side does it and how the proof of stake side does it. So like a bunch of technical stuff there, though also huge amounts of progress being made on it. So I think generally people are feeling very good about the merge right now. It's just you know, a bunch of technical work, a bunch of testing, a bunch more testing, and you know, hopefully we're going to be merging pretty soon.
Okay, obviously the big question is, when do you think that'll happen?
I mean, some people are saying June, some people saying July or August. I don't know.
Some people saying June, some people saying July or August. I don't know. Why doesn't he know? I don't know. I'm feeling a delay. Like if the answer is some people say June, some people say July or August. I don't know. I'm feeling a delay. Are you guys feeling a delay? I'm feeling a delay. That was not confidence inspiring. If I'm looking at this from a stakeholder, I'm like, oh, that's how I would feel about it. It's very weird. But I mean, everything else like checks out as far as like the way he approaches things and like answers interview questions, etc. What do y'all think? Let me know in the comment section and reply, of course, and we'll go over those later. I'm thinking it sounds like to me more like July or August, which is interesting. But, you know, the Geth pull request, only needing one more pull request for it to be ready for the merge, that's a big deal because that's going to be a majority of pretty much everything that needs to function on Ethereum. And so that being so close is, from the perspective of the actual merge taking place, is positive and pretty close. So that happens. And then, of course, we have a huge 6% dump in Ethereum, and Bitcoin briefly drops below 40K for the first time in 2 weeks, coming from CoinDesk. Bitcoin's notorious volatility has upended what had been shaping up as a strong month for returns. Bitcoin fell below 40% for the first time in 2 weeks, putting a damper on recent hopes among some digital asset traders that the cryptocurrency might be poised to rally. The price had already tumbled 7.3% on Thursday, the steepest losses in 4 weeks, as the Dow Jones Industrial Average had its worst day of 2022. A modest decline this morning pushed Bitcoin down as low as 39,700. The price has since quickly rebounded to 40,700. Analysts cited the continuing conflict over Ukraine as weighing on sentiment. While traders in traditional markets are reckoning with the likelihood of aggressive Federal Reserve actions this year to tighten monetary conditions and tamp down inflation, Bitcoin has clearly lost its function as a defensive asset lately, showing almost no correlation with gold, which was in high demand on Wednesday and Thursday, said Alex, senior financial analyst at FX Pro. In traditional markets, the S&P 500, NASDAQ, and Dow are all about flat in early action. This points out a couple really interesting things that are concerning. First of all, we're seeing more of a tie to the basically to traditional financial markets in cryptocurrency markets. And the use of Bitcoin as a hedge against inflation, at least as it sits, doesn't seem to be functioning as one would expect, or at least utilizing cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, etc., doesn't seem to be down the path of where it should be, which means potentially the fundamentals of cryptocurrency could be broken here. And that's a further discussion that I do want to have in a later video, but I want you to be aware of it. What we're seeing is a direct tie between traditional financial markets like the stock market, essentially, and Bitcoin, whereas the whole Bitcoin is like gold statement from people is not proving to be true right now. That's just, it's looking to not actually be playing out that way. There can be a lot of reasons for this, which I'm already working on an entire script for right now, but of course, traditional financial institutions investing into Bitcoin is one. That's probably one of the biggest ones, right? That's going to influence it and treat it more like a market. The other thing is that cryptocurrency in general outside of Bitcoin have lost sight of the fundamentals. And without those fundamentals, investing in something like Ethereum is no different than investing in a stock. And that is just the way it is. We're talking about the difference between commodities and equities, which we talked about earlier this week. Check that clip out, which will be coming out this weekend for more detail on that. It is a little concerning from the perspective of a cryptocurrency miner, an enthusiast, blockchain enthusiast, etc. There's still a lot of good things that can happen on blockchain, even if it doesn't uphold right. Not every cryptocurrency has to uphold the fundamentals, but the problem is, I think that because Ethereum is pretty much the big dog as far as like transactional cryptocurrency goes, and really Bitcoin is just the entry point into the ecosystem. Bitcoin takes a hit. It just feels like it's not adhering to the fundamentals of Bitcoin. I would like to see more of a decoupling between Ethereum and Bitcoin, and for them to be treated as they are built. Meaning, I think that Ethereum should follow traditional financial markets like the stock market. I think that Ethereum should be following that. And I think Bitcoin should be following, separate, right? Separate the commodity from the equities within cryptocurrency. And I think that they should be separated there. But like I said, the problem is also we basically have traditional financial institutions investing into it, and they're treating it like the stock market. And because it is a limited supply for Bitcoin, it's going to continue to be treated like the stock market. Let's talk about mining profitability for the day. I heard some people were doing good. We didn't hit any big blocks on FlexPool though. We have 18 workers online, 6 gigahash current effective, well 5.99 to be fair. Everything got really cold and nice this week or last night. I was up also doing some fixing on the rigs, and they are, sorry, a kid opened the door. I'm working right now, bud. What's up?
Is it fair thing? Because how do you say it's not fair? Because I can't get it on all exploit.
Please, let me finish, and then we'll talk about it. But there's no arguments here. If it's your sister's and she doesn't want you to play with it, then you don't play with it. And the same goes with your stuff.
But I want you a boy too, and I will get one. I only get a duplo
No
one.
fix.
It was in my bedroom.
Please go talk to your mother. Alrighty, we're having some sibling rivalry on this fantastic Friday. All right, so 5.99 gigahash. Like I said, we are down on amount of ETH at 0.07. We are down on the amount of US dollars, about $7 over the day. But we are really, really cranking out good at the farm, meaning I'm very happy with my farm performance right now, because not only are we hitting basically 6 gigahash a second, but we also are still mining TON. Now, not every rig is mining TON. There's a list of them down here. Well, I think it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 out of the, so I have basically 12 out of the 18 dual mining TON. So 6 are not dual mining TON. And basically, it's just really like, once it started getting hot, some of the rigs were not handling it well at all. So we pulled it off. But we're still getting 10 TON a day. I think yesterday we got 12 TON, which was pretty nice. And it's fine. It's an extra, $25 to $30 a day added on top of this. And so I'm feeling pretty good as far as that goes. I'd like to see some better days, but it is the way it is. All right. So let's get into profitability for the week on 3090s, or for the day. We are wrapping up this week with a huge dip in profitability just in general. As you can see, the RTX 3090 is at $3.71 a day on Ethereum. Let's calculate it in with the proper Zel hash. We still have the interesting case of Zel hash nice hash rentals, which we will go ahead and confirm here on Mining Pool Stats in just a second. If you guys aren't aware, what this means essentially is we have some basically investors that are really interested in solo mining Flux right now. And we're seeing it basically in the 2 miners solo pools. It seems to be profitable. It seems like they're also stacking up Flux, maybe for those smaller nodes. Who knows exactly? Or they're just getting ready for a price pump. You know, we're in February. We're 4 months away from the supposed merge. Maybe they're preparing for that. Flux is an interesting choice for that, especially right now. So, yeah. Let's take a look at the RTX 2080 Ti, which is typically more profitable on Flux. Calculate that out. And Ethereum's at $1.76 a day. Nice hash Flux is $1.64 a day. Prog Pal, $1.56 a day for Cero. If we scroll down, just kind of getting an idea of where everything's sitting. Rio's still here. Eternity, Ravencoin. Ethereum Classic seems to have gotten knocked out. It's way down here at 86 cents a day on the RTX 2080 Ti. Let's look at the Polaris GPUs and see what we're feeling. Okay, so it's still sitting around the same, a little less than half of what you would make on Ethereum Classic. So right about there. Let's look at mining pool stats. Bitcoin, what do we got? 205 exahash a second. Pretty much the same difficulty. Ethereum, what do we got as far as difficulty? 978 terahash a second. We're down. What is that? 21, 22 terahash a second down on the difficulty and the difficulty went down. Ooh. So we have a decrease in both hash rate and difficulty on Ethereum right now. Looks like people are dropping off of FlexPool and Poolin.me. Ethermine looks to be remaining steady. Hive on with their crazy little ups and downs as always. All right. So that's interesting to note. Let's hope we hit some big blocks while the difficulty is down. Let's look at Flux. Yep, even today, right now, it's happening right now. It looks like 2 miners solo popping in on Flux again. Two mega solutions a second. And the solo nice hash rental is going down as we speak. So good luck to the nice hash renter, I suppose. The nice hash renter. Good luck to him. Hopefully he gets it going. Let's take a look at Ravencoin. 4.2 terahash a second. Difficulty. Everything's sitting kind of still at the same for Ravencoin. I think this is where it's decided to settle in post halvening. And I did talk to Bitsby Trippin', by the way. I specifically requested that he come on the crypto mining show and sell me Ravencoin. All right, so we're going to sit down. He's going to sell me on Ravencoin. That should be hopefully within the next couple weeks. I'm waiting on scheduling whenever he's available, but look forward to that coming up. That should be an interesting episode. What else do we got here? Not much. I think we'll just go ahead and look at mining pool profits because I got to get going. So Flex Pool number 1, Mining Pool Hub in second, Crazy Pool in third, Crazy Pool for the last 60 days, Crazy Pool in first, Flex Pool in second, Mining Pool Hub in third. For the last 30 days, Crazy Pool in first, Flex Pool in second, Mining Pool Hub in third. For the last 21 days, Flex Pool in first, ZET in second, Mining Pool Hub in third. Last 14 days, ZET in first, Flex Pool in second, Mining Pool Hub in third. Last 7 days, ZET in first, Mining Pool Hub in second, Flex Pool in third. Last 3 days, ZET in first, Crazy Pool in second, Mining Pool Hub in third. For the last day, ZET in first, Crazy Pool in second, and Flex Pool in third. For the ASIC miners, we have the KD6 still in first place, but it is dropped down by about $20 from yesterday per day on, of course, the profitability. Let's go ahead and look at, we'll kind of skip the rest of these Antminer L7s, all those. Everything remains in the same spot. What I'm curious on is what the S19 Pros are doing. They're at about 17 bucks a day on Digibyte, 15 bucks a day in mining rig rentals. Not looking great for the S19s. And there you go. Any sales over here do we got going on BT Miners, who's a sponsor for the channel? They are different than yesterday. Looks like they did drop down the Gold Shell X5. I don't know if that's really enough yet. Feel like the L3 Plus should be around 500 and the X5 should be around, I don't know, 800, somewhere around there. But I know that's probably what they paid for them. So it is what it is. I do not have a lot of time. I got to get on the road. So no Q&A today. A quick update. This show will be going to Spotify, not exclusively. The live stream will still be on YouTube. In post, we will be moving the show over and uploading it to Spotify. Now, I got to get all the back catalog done. It'll only be the crypto mining show. And basically, I have 52 episodes right now. We're going to get all 52 episodes, 53 now, up on Spotify, set in, and then you'll be able to access all of the shows on Spotify. And then on top of that, you can still watch live here. The full video will still be left on YouTube. It's just going to be another revenue stream, hopefully reach out to new types of listeners, etc. I think it'll be good for the channel as a whole, because from my perspective, when I was going through and searching, there's not a ton of crypto content on Spotify, and there is zero down-to-earth crypto content on Spotify, meaning it all sounds professional and cheesy. Like, you know, that like I'm trying really hard. So I'm thinking like it should be good to have like some more down to earth crypto content on Spotify. I think it's going to be good for the channel. They have like 440 million listeners. And for a lot of people, it's just easier to listen to Spotify in the car. So, you know, if you're a Spotify listener right now, look forward to that. It's probably going to be maybe another week before I get everything sorted. There's a lot of work to get done. Basically, you have to do a whole second set of artwork, because you can't use like 16:9. You have to use just the normal squares, all that stuff. So hopefully you can go ahead and check it out there. We are available on Odyssey for people that are curious, and Library. I'm not interested in moving to any other platform. Like if I look at Rumble or the other BitTubes and stuff, I think Library does it better, in my humble opinion. They're also still proof of work, which I appreciate. So for the blockchain side of content, Odyssey is where we're at. Okay. As far as reaching more people and a bigger audience, that's going to be YouTube, as well as, of course, Spotify. Just letting you guys know from there. Thanks everybody for the support. Spotify reached out. I talked with one of their reps. It seems pretty straightforward and pretty easy. No upfront payments from them or anything like that. They will offer other monetization options and help get sponsors, which is an interesting one that they do. So as opposed to YouTube, who just runs AdSense, Spotify kind of has this program where they run kind of a version of AdSense. So on all the old podcasts, they'll have that. But then they have the readable ads, and they actually help sell ads for you. So that could be a little bit nice over there. There'll be those kind of skippable ads The video will be there as well. So if you need to watch the video, you can always pop that open. But I assume a lot of it will be kind of the car crowd, the commute crowd. So that does mean, of course, that I will have to work on the way we talk when we are doing these live shows. I'll have to make sure that for the listeners, it's clear. And obviously, I have to get better at reading. I get the jokes. I'm trying. We're learning. The more I do it, the better I'll get. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit the like, comment, subscribe down below. Go ahead and tell your friends about the show. We are available on Odyssey, YouTube, and coming soon, Spotify. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next Tuesday.